As many of you may know, I just completed the Metal Gear Solid 5 game for the first time, and I'm just a few hours away from locking down that platinum trophy. However, once I finished the game, my only reaction was, what? The spoilers in this game and the story itself is just simply mind-blowing. After talking to a fellow gamer who was a fan of the series as well, we tried to talk through the storyline and got so confused, I decided, what a great topic for my next video. So this video is the discussion of everything that happened in the Metal Gear series, all the way through Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. In order to complete the entire Metal Gear series, we will be dividing the video into two parts. Part 1 will cover the Philosopher's Era, and Part 2 will cover the Patriots Era. Disclaimer alert, this video will follow the chronological timeline and not the timeline in which the games were released. Also, this video will be focusing on the overarching story and not get bogged down in the many side stories and rabbit trails that the Metal Gear series has come to be known for. Alright, so we're going to go through this pretty quick. Ready? Begin. It all started back in 1918 when the joined forces of Russia, China, and USA wanted to control the entire world. We're talking all the money, the power, and the politics. The whole shebang. So these joined forces created a secret organization called the Philosophers, whose main objective was absolute power. During World War II in the year 1939, the Philosophers created the Philosopher's Legacy, which included all the names of the members of the Philosopher's Secret Society, as well as $100 billion. That is a lot of green. By the end of World War II, the Philosopher's Legacy had been stolen and distributed across several world banks. All the transactions were stored, however, in a microfilm. So whoever gains possession of the film has access to the Philosopher's Legacy. So of course, Russia, China, and the US all want to get to this microfilm first, and thus begins the largest season of The Amazing Race. A Russian rocket scientist by the name of Nikolai Sokolov develops a rocket named the Vostok 1 that was responsible for making the first man enter outer space. And yes, this rocket and event exist in real life as well. Sokolov wanted to continue his space efforts, but was instead named the chief designer of the Secret Weapons Research Office for the Soviet Union. In 1961, Sokolov begins working on a new Russian nuclear weapon called the Shagohod, the first Metal Gear nuclear delivery system. In 1962, Cuba deploys IRB missiles. That's intermediate range ballistic missiles for those of you who are not up on your Cold War era munitions lingo. Man, I have no life. And Cuba poses as a threat to the US to the fact that Russia could attack from Cuba if nuclear weapons ever made it to the island. During this time, Sokolov has been working on the Shagohod and has become fearful of his own creation and decides to defect to the US, but gets caught and arrested in Berlin, Germany. America calls for the disarmament of the missiles and the missile bases in Cuba, and this event would later be known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Russians agree to the cease and desist order, providing that the US return Sokolov to Russia, where he will be forced to continue the Shagohod project. The US agrees and the weapons are dismantled and Sokolov returns to Russia. As a result of this crisis, the CIA creates a special secret operation called the Fox Unit, Force Operation X. The Fox Unit will respond to any future crises, and this unit is led by Major Zero. As the leader of Fox, Major Zero makes another shadow military group called XOF to provide tactical support to Fox, but only answers to Major Zero and not the CIA. Major Zero puts a man named Skullface in charge of XOF. The US, fearing that the Russians have gained control over the Philosopher's Legacy, send their best agent, codenamed the Boss, to Russia to find the legacy. Fox also sends their secret agent John, codenamed Naked Snake, to Russia to rescue and recover Sokolov and destroy the Shagohod that Sokolov was forced to complete. The code name for this operation was called Virtuous Mission. Naked Snake is about to complete his mission when he is stopped by his former mentor, codenamed the Boss, who appears to have defected to Russia and has become a traitor to the US. A rebel group of Russian Spetsnaz, the Russian Elite Special Forces, looked to oppose the current Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev at the order of Colonel Volgin. The Boss gives Volgin a US nuclear warhead, which he then uses to destroy a Russian research facility to make it look as though the US had attacked and declared war on Russia. The U.S. denies all responsibility and are being forced by the Russian Premier Khrushchev to prove that they were not involved. And so Fox sends Naked Snake back to Russia to kill both the traitor, the boss, and Colonel Volgin. And with that order, Operation Snake Eater begins. Major Zero, acting independently, decides to activate his own unit, XOF, and secretly deploy Skullface to assist Naked Snake. Okay guys, so bear with me because this next part is nuts. So once in Russia, the Russian KGB puts the Fox unit into contact with two NSA agents who had defected to Russia in 1960. Their names were Adam and Eva. They were meant to assist Naked Snake, however, only Eva shows up at the rendezvous point. Eva and Naked Snake are attacked by Volgin's military unit led by Ocelot. Ocelot takes Eva hostage but is defeated and forced to retreat. Naked Snake and Eva also find out that Volgin has the Philosopher's Legacy. Naked Snake continues on his mission to destroy the Shagohod and runs across the boss's elite unit called Cobra Unit. And Naked Snake defeats all the members of Cobra Unit except for the boss. Alright guys, bear with me, because Naked Snake is then captured by Volgin, the boss, and Ocelot after being disguised with a mask and wig of Volgin's gay lover. Yeah, that's what I said. And during an interrogation, he is hit in the eye with a bullet and loses one of his eyes. Naked Snake is able to defeat Colonel Volgin and destroy the Shagohod. What Naked Snake doesn't know is that Eva is actually a double agent and is actually a Chinese spy who is trying to find the Philosopher's Legacy for her own country. Eva obtains the microfilm but finds out that it is actually a fake and that Ocelot currently possesses the actual microfilm. But, spoiler alert, Ocelot does not really work for Volgin but is actually a triple agent and works for the Philosophers to secure the microfilm. And Ocelot's true identity is Adam. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, hold on, I need a drink. Anyways, Ocelot gives half of the Philosopher's Legacy to the US, and the other half appears to still be in Russia. Naked Snake then discovers that the boss did not in fact defect to Russia, but was actually working as a double agent. She was under orders by the US to give the nuclear weapon to Volgin in order to gain his trust and locate the Philosopher's Legacy. However, the US did not know that Volgin would use this weapon on his own research facility in order to frame the US and make it look like they had attacked. From that point forward, the boss had to continue in her role and wait for Naked Snake to show up, where she would sacrifice herself to him in order to prove that the US was innocent and avoid an all-out nuclear war with Russia.
I've been waiting, Snake, for a long time. Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today.
Boss, why are you doing this?
Why? To make the world one again.
In the end, Naked Snake has to kill the boss, and he finds out that she was under US orders the entire time. It's at this point that he realizes that she was a hero for the United States, but will now go down in history as a traitor to the United States. Naked Snake then returns home to the US as a hero and is given the new title of Big Boss. During all these events, Major Zero has been keeping Skullface and the XOF unit in the shadows, which angers Skullface, and he begins to develop hatred towards Major Zero. Because of what the US did to the boss, Naked Snake, now known as Big Boss, leaves the Fox unit and loses his faith in the politics of the US altogether. Major Zero, even though he was the leader of the unit, leaves the Fox unit shortly thereafter. Once Major Zero leaves the Fox unit, a man named Gene joins the unit and becomes the leader of Fox under the code name Viper. In 1966, Big Boss meets a boy soldier named Frank Yeager, who later gets taken by the CIA as a test subject for creating a new super soldier. Frank Yeager is brainwashed and given the code name Null. During this time, Viper, the new commander of Fox unit, turns the unit into a renegade group, turning its back on the CIA with its only purpose to find the Philosopher's Legacy. The CIA, thinking that Big Boss and Major Zero are still running the Fox unit, accused them of turning the unit into a renegade operation and began searching for Big Boss and Major Zero. Big Boss is finally captured by the Viper, who puts him into prison, where Big Boss meets Roy Campbell. Big Boss escapes. and with the help of Major Zero, Roy Campbell, and a few other members, creates a new independent organization called Foxhound, with the main objective of hunting and taking down the remaining members of Fox. Big Boss runs into Null, but does not realize who it is quite yet, and Null captures Big Boss. Big Boss escapes and finds out that Fox actually has a new Metal Gear named Roxa, and finds and destroys it only to realize that it was a test model and not the real Metal Gear. While searching for the real Metal Gear, he runs into Null again, only this time he realizes that it's in fact Frank Yeager, and he tries to convince Null that they are actually friends. Null does not believe Big Boss, and so Big Boss has to defeat him, and after the fight, Null remembers that he is in fact Frank Yeager. Big Boss, now finally with a mission of hunting down Viper, finds him and defeats him, and gains full access to Fox. That means all the money, soldiers, and the plans to build a new military nation. Big Boss in the end stops the real Metal Gear, and it is a mission success. While all this is going on, Ocelot is planning on taking both halves of the Philosopher's Legacy and kills the head of the CIA in order to gain the second half from the US to combine with the list of all the members of the Philosophers. After all these events, finally Big Boss rejoins Fox and becomes their #1 unit member once again. Major Zero also rejoins Fox and retakes control of Fox as their leader. And Ocelot, with the newly completed Philosopher's Legacy, joins Fox, and the three of them reorganize the Philosophers into a new organization called the Patriots. So this has been part 1 of the 2-part Metal Gear series. Part 2 will discuss the Patriots and how that relates to Solid Snake. If you've enjoyed this series so far, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. If you haven't followed us on social media, you can find the links in the descriptions below, and make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to get an announcement as to when part 2 will be live. I've enjoyed putting this video together so far, and thank you all for watching, and remember, until next time, stay awesome. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment to let you know about my brand new channel, Seth Bowden Vlogs. Call the cops now then. Call the cops now.
Is it alright? Yeah. If I don't shoot it, how am I supposed to hold it?
I did one! Oh, he's still going.
Vlogs are uploaded multiple times a week, and you can click on the SB Vlogs logo right here, or click on the link in the description below in order to check it out. If you like what you see, then give it a thumbs up, and that way you'll be alerted every time a new vlog goes live. And as always, thank you for watching, and remember to stay awesome. Even if this one video is not showing a working stealth prototype, there are many other videos out there that show that not only are these types of things possible, but they are already being developed. And it's just a matter of time before you can finally hide your video game system from your pesky little brother or sister.